You are now listening to the sounds of
All right, everyone. We are being joined right now by Bay Area hip hop legend Equipto. Thank you for joining us, man. Thanks for blessing us with your time right now.
Oh, right on, man. I appreciate y'all and inviting me on this platform, man. I like the name, Milk Crates and Microphones.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you. We
Yeah,
appreciate that, man. Yeah, just a little play on words from when we were kids and we used to hang out and smoke a lot of weed in my dad's backyard, and he had milk crates back there, and we used to sit on it. And then it's also, digging through the crates and finding vinyl and that type of thing. So
Yeah.
little play on words, but
Right. Double meaning.
exactly. So we so appreciate you coming on and talking with us. And first of all, obviously, we want to talk about you've been real active. You're obviously an activist in the streets, and what you put your word out there, and especially on social media, your heart's been out there for what's going on over there in Palestine and Israel. You want to talk a little bit about that and just kind of let people know?
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's been going on. What's going on right now has been going on for about 73 years, I would say, in what is now known as Israel and Palestine, right? And it's called the Nakba. It's called the Nakba, which translate into the catastrophe, the catastrophe. For many Palestinians at that time, that's when Israel became a state, a Jewish state, exclusively, and ethnic cleansing began. So it's been going on for 73 years, and this is over thousands of villages, indigenous folks, people have been misplaced, not to mention murdered. And I think it's happening now. It's been happening, but definitely it's still going on. They had a so-called a ceasefire that's after 11 days in Gaza of folks being attacked. They say 243 people were died.
Women
66
and
children died in
yeah.
Gaza. In Israel, over 12 people died in Israel, 2 children in Israel.
That's
so we
crazy.
definitely want to acknowledge everybody that lost their goddamn life. You know what I mean? Like nobody deserves that.
Totally.
Definitely, it's like a lot of violence, obviously, and a lot of this is endorsed by the United States of America, which we all live in, and we're definitely in a point of like life where we're definitely so conditioned where we don't understand really our connection for third world liberation, and that is like, I think it's very integral, right? It's like, because we have to understand it's not just a human right? It's something that we have to understand in solidarity and partnership. Like, we can all find liberation if we fought together, and it's not necessarily fight, right? What people are asking in Palestine is to support BDS, which is an organization, Boycott, Divest, and Sanctions, that does the same blueprint that folks did in South Africa when the apartheid was going on out there, because it's pretty much the exact same things that are going on: restriction of land, house demolition, evictions, deprive the resources to survive. So you can't go back to your home. It's a point check everywhere. So that's what's been going on. I'm glad, because I definitely wanted to touch on that, but I didn't want it to take up the whole interview as well. You know what I mean?
No, I want. I feel like people need to be educated, and including us, because
A lot of people don't even know
you
what's
hear,
going on
what a
over
lot of
there.
people are hearing, there ain't a lot of truth in what you hear on the news. Obviously, we know that, and so somebody that's well educated on it and studied on it as yourself, we'd love to hear more about it. And this is the platform that
You can express yourself
A
on.
podcast is the best platform for stuff like this, and as much as we want to talk about music, and we can get to that later on, this is the important shit that motherfuckers need to listen to and get educated on. So
A lot of people don't even know that that's even happening.
exactly,
A lot
and
of
if
people are
they
blind
do-
to it. You
if
know what I
they
mean?
do,
Or they don't
think-
even look in to find out a way to support, or they could change ways of what's going on over there. Nobody takes the time to figure out, hey, what can I do?
Yeah.
Or is there? Most people are like, someone's going to take care of it, because somebody always figures out a way to take care of some bullshit that's going on out there. But truthfully, you never really ask yourself, what can I do to help out? There's a lot of stuff people can do to just kind of donate. Tell somebody.
Yeah.
You seen it? Tell somebody about it. You know what I mean? You could
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, and once you spread that knowledge, you know what I mean. People will hear it, and then maybe you might not be able to help. You might not have the resources to, but they might be able to help because you decided just to share the word,
Definitely. That alone, I mean, that alone helps. Please believe, like, that's a lot of the pressure that's happening. It's coming from social media and people sharing posts and sharing their thoughts and their concern about what's going on. So it brings traction. I mean, Instagram and Facebook would not be blocking a lot of these posts, erasing a lot of these posts if it didn't mean something. Like, obviously the work is getting acknowledged, it's getting recognized, but it's just, it can't like heal, you can't heal up on it. Like, we got to keep mashing. That's the whole thing. Like, a lot of people, people power is real. And with Palestine, I've been blessed. I was out there in 2019. I got to travel out there with an artist delegation and see from my own eyes what was really going on in Palestine and how folks were treated, and as well as the love that I received, the welcoming I received, and the beauty of the people and the culture out there. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man.
And that's part of people getting educated, is being able to understand, because a lot of people haven't been able to be in that culture or be, in that situation. So they're blind to how it actually is, and they would never travel there to go see people it that are well traveled
to try to put themselves there,
exactly.
to try to put themselves. Yeah, they would never do that.
So it's really on people that have traveled to be able to spread that knowledge and try to encourage people to do the same, travel the same.
Very true. Very true.
Definitely. I really liked what you said too about what it really is about is solidarity and getting people to come together, because I think that is, even in our issues over here in America, I think that's the main issue, is we're just, as a country, we're so divided. You do a lot of work in the Bay Area, as you're from San Francisco. A lot of San Francisco is known as a city that is really openly
hustling,
not just hustling, but open with their politics and stuff like that. You've been active in the streets for a long time. You want to talk a little bit about what you're doing kind of on your own turf as well?
Yeah, I also want to mention, I'm Japanese and Colombian is my ethnicity, so I definitely got to give a shout out to my people in Colombia too. They're going through a lot, and like 42 people have died. There's over 100 people missing. And it's all through same thing. It's an uprising, this rebellion against the militarized police, the president Ivan Duque, whatever. It's like not reforming any of the bills, any of the social reforms for the people, whether it be economically, anything. So people are uprising out there too, and people are losing their lives. And the United States has about over 8 military bases in Colombia. So we have to understand that connection too, of what this country that we live in and the luxuries that we live by. Like we said, some of us don't even know it, right? Yeah,
you take it for granted.
We're definitely living in some type of privilege and some type of luxury, even though we struggle.
You get to wake up and no one's knocking on your door telling you to do something, or no one's fucking telling you got to be here at a certain time. You don't have to have a job at some places. You could just be a straight up bum in this country, and that shit, that shit's crazy. I mean, it's just a crazy way to think that we are so blessed to either abuse the right or do something with it, and some people just abuse that shit.
That's very real, man. That's a good way to put it. They don't care about you. They'll let you throw your life away. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like, and shit like that. So, but I mean, what I've been going, recently building on is a lot of music. I've been very, very, like, one of my busiest last 2 years. I don't promote too much when I drop things, though. I'm not like a constant person like that. But I've dropped an album with my good longtime friend Big Sean from Boy Stiff. We dropped an album called Outrange.
Dope.
Me and Mike Marshall dropped Kim 3 like last year, about a year and a half ago. Me and Mike Marshall, the singer of I Got 5 on it, and the Rumors. That's my good brother.
I've heard some of that. And
Mike Measy, shout out to Mike Measy.
There you go. He's made
the Green Thumb, man. That's the grower. Yep. He's a grower too. A heavy marijuana medicinal supporter, activist. So
awesome.
He's on that level.
We need more of them.
So the music has been going good. I dropped a song called F12 with my bro Dogtown Dro. That was really like kind of a response to what was going on with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery, everything that's been happening, kind of the political climate that happened in the last year, which that got kind of some traction. It's been going. Otherwise, I mean, the music is always going to be there. I got a lot of things. I dropped the album with The Watershed, which is the group that I'm a part of too, a younger collective of folks. I'm kind of the OG of that clique. We dropped that. That's called Don't Forget You're Welcome. That's a great album. Board Stiff, we dropped one too, like January 19th, I believe we dropped it.
Sick.
It's called When Worst Comes to Shove. So Board Stiff, that's the collective I come from. You know, we came up in the early 90s together, you know, backpack rapping, all that.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know,
came from the Lower Haight area,
Heart of San Francisco.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Equipto's been in the music industry, making music, and out here doing it for over 25 years, and
super hip hop.
Board Stiff is, and a lot of people that are listening might not be from California or the Bay Area, but from around here and around the world are a legendary group, but definitely like locally, being from Northern California, like it meant a lot, you know, like those type of, you know, with High Road and Board Stiff from San Francisco, and that was like that was what we knew out here in the valley. So it means a lot, dude. Just talking to you right now, and your music definitely hit hard with us out here.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, no, exactly. You hit it on the coin. It's basically like that era, Hieroglyphics, Living Legends, Board Stiff. We're kind of that era of tapes getting dubbed and spreading, you know, word of mouth kind of thing. And hip hop was still somewhat a new thing as far as, you know, like the native tongue, you know, coming through and all that. Like, it was just a great era. So I'm definitely blessed, like, to be a part of that. And I'm definitely blessed to, like, you know, keep going how I
still
got
still be in it,
you know, stay creative with other Bay Area folks that I've done projects with. You know what I mean? Like, definitely.
And it's keeping up with all the youngsters that are coming in, and you know, just keep coming through the game, and then you also have your own record label, where and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't have anyone signed to it. You just release music for artists,
just let them shine,
new and old music. Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about your record label, Solidarity Records, which I love the name as well.
Sick.
Right on. Thank you, brother. Yeah, Solidarity Records founded in like 1999, basically. And it was just to put out my first solo album. At this time, Board Stiff, we didn't break up ever, really. You know, we were always together, but we went through a lot of turmoil. Like, our good friend, when I was part of the group, JoJo White, passed away in 96. And there was a lot of shit that was going on. Obviously, we were like 20, 21 years old when that happened. It changed our lives. And, you know, a lot of us went astray. We were still family and friends, but I was kind of working on more solo music. And I was just trying to find a way to put it out. So a couple of my friends that were like, they knew a couple of ballers, quote unquote, folks with money and people that have businesses that might want to invest in a solo album of mine. So that was kind of what was going on. And that's kind of the foundation of Solidarity Records. We're like, man, fuck it, let's come out with our own label and start putting shit out. Because there was a label before that I was a part of too, was Hella Records. That was more like Big Sean, PD Camp, and Board Stiff, the crew, like, and you know, so I had to figure out a way that I could, you know, do my own thing as well and have my own little small business or whatnot, or my own LLC, and try to just start putting out music. You know, like I was just at a moment, I think, like I didn't want to be held back. I was feel like I didn't want to be stagnant. I was making music. I just wanted to put it out, and I was like, man, I could put this out. You know, so Solidarity Records started as that, but it becomes more of a platform. Like you said, nobody's assigned to it. It's more like a springboard. Like, hey, come fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we can help you get what you need to get done, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We can help you out and like cultivate and like kind of craft your project in a sense. You know what I mean? So folks that like Solidarity or understand what we're doing and kind of the sound that we can offer folks through our production or through our platform and whatnot. Like, so folks could really see what was going on. And, you know, they'd be like, yeah, let me put a project through our Solidarity. Like, for sure. We just put it on our Bandcamp. Whatever's made goes to whoever, you know, gets made. Or a lot of folks contribute projects to Solidarity. Like, look, I'm going to do this project. Y'all can have it. I'll just have it on CD. Y'all sell it on CD. You know what I mean? Like, certain things.
You let them shine.
Nothing signed, nothing like that. Shine. You know, we had studios where it was like a hangout center. You know, it was like a boys and girls club.
That's cool.
We were on Hyde Street, and we just have the studio deep full of folks chilling, smoking. You know what I mean? We have a barber chair, folks getting lined up, someone making a beat, someone writing. You know, it was someone reading a book in the corner. So it was always like kind of like a place, a safe haven for folks too, for youngsters to get off the streets in a sense, to just kick it and you know, be who they wanted to be, and possibly like just get on a song that day. Come to the studio, oh, I'm gonna get on a song, you know, and kicking, like not tripping if the song's gonna come out, not worry about it. It's just so it was kind of like, I think that's what Solidarity Records was too. It wasn't just literally like a label or like it was something that was
movement,
a kind of a movement of a safe haven for folks to get away from.
Which is cool. That's what everybody needs. Everybody needs a spot to go kind of release what they got going on in life. You know what I mean?
It's also good too for youngsters to see that it's possible. You know what I mean? To see somebody actually doing it like yourself and be like, look, we can do this. We could record music right here, and it's possible. We could.
There's talent.
There's something
talent
more
to be found here
for sure.
Everybody is capable of doing what the fuck they really want to do.
Dude, yeah, there's no one better than Equipto to run Solidarity in San Francisco. I'll tell you that. You're an OG from San Francisco, always representing, man. Board Stiff formed in what, 92 was it?
Yeah, pretty much 92.
12 members deep. Is that accurate?
12 members.
That's a deep crew, man.
You still got 12? You guys still running 12?
Three passed away.
Yeah.
3 have passed away, so we're all together still.
But same people, no other involvements in the co-op.
Right.
Dope. Super dope.
So it's still folks who 12 deep, and it's like I think see what happened. We were a collective first of different groups. 3 Shades of Rhythm was me, P. Whaley, and TD Camp. Then you had Top Notch, which was Big Sean, Little Sean, and Mint Rocky. Kwanzaa was his own entity. White Mike was his own entity. And so and that made the Hoodies. We were like a group called the Hoodies, right? This is like 89, 90.
Sick.
3 Shades of Rhythm 91. Is a hard ass name, though. Dude. I ain't gonna lie, bro. 3 Shades of Rhythm is hard. That sounds hard as sick. That's so tight.
That's some OG 90s.
That's some hard shit, man.
We were like a mix between like our music was sounded like, Tribe Called Quest, Leaders of the New School mixed with Souls of Mischief. Like it was, typical Bay Area. We're just
super
like young
tight.
kids
Super tight.
Following the path and shit like that. Still being creative and cutting edge in our own way, but definitely like influenced. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were just, coming out with stuff. And 3 Shades of Rhythm happened to be the group that was out of the collective that was kind of pushing hard. We were doing shows in LA. We had to sit down with Delicious Vinyl. We had to sit down with Motown, a couple labels that were interested in possibly signing us.
Wow.
And so we were kind of like pushing it. But every time 3 Shades was doing shows, we couldn't necessarily all get in. Like all the homies were still hanging, right? All 12, 13, whoever it was, So we decided like, let's become a group after, our ups and downs and, fluctuations with the rap industry and record labels. We're like, fuck the industry. We're going to do our thing. Let's be called Board Stiff. And we're going to be all 12, all of us are going to be one group. We're not going to be, this group only gets in, so they get to do the show, and y'all got to meet them backstage. Like, we were just tired of that. We're like, we all get in together.
That's slick. Fuck yeah.
That was kind of our young, rebellious, kind of, our attitude.
Cut all the bullshit. Cut all the bullshit out,
Yeah, man. So growing up, when you guys were, starting out early as a crew, about like the early 90s, did you guys ever cross paths with Hyro, out in Oakland in the early days?
Man, we definitely did, bro. Like that was like A+, OPO, Casual. I mean, we met them early on, like probably like right after they did like Burnt and all that. Like it literally just hit the streets. And Dale had an interview at City College radio station in San Francisco, and our boy David Paul, who ran the Bomb magazine, told us. He used to call us up and call TD Camp and be like, hey, we got Funk Dubious in the lab. We got Cypress Hill in the lab, whatever, Like, let's go check it out. And he told us Dale was there. This is like when, like I said, just came out. It was just like, Dale was part of like our growing, Like he was part of the stamp of you could be yourself, You don't have to be like everyone. Of course it came from like, Tribe Called Quest, I think, and you know what I mean? Like De La Soul, being original, being yourself, but Dale took it to a whole new creative level lyrically as well. So all that was going on, you know what I mean? Like we would see them, and I seen them at the radio station. I met Casual, and you know what I mean? Saphir was there too, from Hobo Junction. Dale, and then we went to early shows that they were throwing at this spot called Berkeley Square. That was in Berkeley. OGs will remember that. A spot called Berkeley Square in Berkeley, and that's where Hyro was throwing their shows. And it was cracking, man. It was just, the air back then was just electric, man. You knew Hyro was going to blow up, and if they didn't, you didn't really care because it was just so dope and it was so new. They were just coming with the whole, they had the dreads with the Vans on, you know what I mean? Like, and just lyrically killing it, you know, like, and they were teenagers, they were kids, man, you know what I mean? Like,
they had their fingers on the
we were
pulse.
there early ciphering, we see them all the time. Domino, the producer, and TD Camp, our producer, were neighbors and friends early on. That's how we got the real connection too. Because Domino would come over and play their demos and shit. We would exchange demos. And this is like, you know, like you said, 91, 92. And all that was going on. So, you know, we had an instant, you know, connection, you know what I mean? Like, definitely we were like totally inspired and like influenced by Hyro and their movement, you know what I mean? Like, we were like, whoa, someone's rapping, like, got a whole little crew, like, we got a crew, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was just hella pump.
Yeah, and like you said, you guys were all super young at the time, and so just to, like Matt was saying, finger on the pulse. This is the new wave. This hip hop music is fucking taking over right now.
And people are noticing, and you could just tell that what you're doing is sick, and people are just
on the ground floor. Yeah, you're at the beginning.
We're gonna build something here. We're gonna build something there. We're doing this shit. It's our way. That's fucking crazy, bro. To be a part of that is amazing.
And being from San Francisco. You know, like when people think of Bay Area hip hop, they think of like E40, Mac Dre, the hyphy movement, that type of thing, and not a lot of SF. Like back in the day, there's some San Francisco hip hop heads that got some love, but not a lot of San Francisco love. You guys always kind of stayed in your own little bubble. What was that? Talk a little bit about that. Do you think the industry kind of maybe had something against it, or was it just the way it was, just because there's so much going on in the Bay Area altogether?
Yeah, I think, you know, with the why the light hasn't necessarily shined as far as like economically for San Francisco hip hop or rap, I think like we have not a curse, but things always happen to us, and I think incidents that the industry gets scared of when someone dies or there's a shooting somewhere, and people overlook. Still to this day, but a lot of people overlooked San Francisco as far as like being quote unquote hood, right? Like, oh, there's no hood. San Francisco's hood. And people start getting robbed out here.
Yeah,
right. The shows getting shut down.
San Francisco's hood,
like,
dude.
People couldn't get out here, you know. 50 Cent couldn't have a show out here. It was nothing against 50 Cent. It was just that wild.
It ain't gonna work. Yeah.
San Francisco is a wild, wild, wild place. You know what I mean? Like, especially before the gentrification took full impact. So, and then you have, you know, like you said, Cougnut, who was one of the pioneers, who was kind of doing his thing, obviously, and he ended up getting in a car accident, passing away. Huey MC, like as you mentioned, he's one of the OG pioneers, definitely from San Francisco, but never really, I don't think, definitely hasn't got the due he deserves. He's definitely like changed the game for a lot of people, not just San Francisco, but I think it is. It's a lot of industry bullshit. There's been moves. I think JT, the bigger figure, made a lot of good moves, but I think there were some complications where, you know, the deal didn't go right. There were some, you know, parties that weren't met or whatnot, and deals go sour, and those things spread throughout the industry just like anything else. You know, it's like, oh, you hear word of mouth. And Frisco cats is kind of hustling. They doing their thing. They cutting corners because we hustlers. You know what I mean? We don't want to be taken advantage of as well too. So I think a lot of it is just chance and everything like that. I mean, you look now though, right? You look now, and the tables have totally turned in a certain sense, right? You have rappers like 24K Gold and like one of the top, you know, artists in the world, right? You know, definitely top something. He's from Lakeview. He's a San Francisco kid. You know, and then you have Burner, who's one of the top businessmen in San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like, you have Showtime. There's a young dude, Showtime, Showy from Air, that just came out with his song. San Francisco, you know, there's a lot of good talent in San Francisco, I think, that's getting its due now. You know, people with the eyes are kind of shifting over here. And that's kind of typical of the music industry and the musical history of how things unfold. The people that kind of put in the grit and the grind don't necessarily get the attention. They don't get the pat on the back. They don't get the acknowledgement. And that's all in fairness, bro. Like, you know, we don't do this music stuff. A lot of us don't do it, I don't think, for, you know, the pat on the back. We do it for respect and love. You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, a lot of folks, you know, I think didn't receive that. You know what I mean? But that's what the OGs, all that work that a lot of people could, Huey MC, Fly Mar, RBL, Nickatina, 11-5, Cold World Hustlers, Forte, you know what I mean? Like all these rappers and all these folks that put in the groundwork, you know, helped people bubble, like help people prosper and craft their own style to like a Roach Gigs, like we said, like a, you know, into a Burner and, you know, into more other, you know, there's so much more talent out there too in San Francisco. Like you got Richie Cunning, who's a dope lyricist. You know what I mean? My folks, the Watershed, Professor Gable, Monk HTS. There's so much, like I can't even, you know what I mean? I'm probably just missing hella my homies and shit too, but
a lot of good talent.
I think, you know, yeah, there's definitely like an early curse, I think that was happening with the Bay Area as far as economically. And I like to say that because influential wise, right? We're global. There's no denying that. We everywhere you go, and I was blessed to travel all over, right? And I could see our influence, our inspiration, even in New York, every place, even in New York where hip hop was birthed. You see the Bay Area, you know, influence. You see the, you know, the San Francisco, quote unquote, swag in other folks and things. You know what I mean? Like, so it is definitely. It's gratifying to see that, to know that our influence has touched all throughout cross borders and barriers. You know what I mean? But economically, it's just now coming around, I think, for San Francisco folks, because our generation is monopolizing and manipulating the whole tourism that comes with San Francisco, which, hey, it happens. It's just a matter of who's going to take advantage of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True that.
Yeah.
There's a buck to be made. Someone's going to try to take that fucking buck to be
definitely
made. That's just how it is. It's crazy.
And San Francisco definitely has changed over the years, and it's continuing to change. And
for the worse?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of times, a lot of people say it is for the worse, but, you know, there's a lot of good things still going on in San Francisco, in the inner city.
The Bay Area, period, has gone through a lot of hardships.
Yeah,
Oakland, San Francisco, like, you know,
California,
and a lot of different gentrification or whatever's going on.
A lot of rules of
just
the way
like
shit's changed in life. It just kind of puts even bigger fucking walls up over other places like that. So
yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
they sneak that on you, man. They'll change a neighborhood, a city, a whole change within 5 to 10 years, and you come back and not even know the policies that have changed, the neighborhoods,
the people,
you know,
the
one ways, the streets, like everything, and it's all for corporate interests. You know what I mean? Like, and for people to attract more people to, you know what I mean, to come in from out of town. Shit, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's a crazy game, man. That's San Francisco. It's a metropolitan city. You know, there's not, you know, it's a metropolitan city that got, you know, an incredible funnel of, you know, all these, you know, all this money
hub. It's a
that
legit
comes from
hub.
Corporate interests. You know what I mean? Like, and we're gonna deal with it one way or another, because there's a, you know, like whether it be a municipal revenue or whether it be budgets for the city, is something that we have to combat as people, because regardless of this, how bad this thing changed, regardless how much they try to ethnically cleanse folks and they try to, you know, like flip all these neighborhoods, there's still people out here. We're still surviving. We're still fighting. For sure. And they're going to have to deal with us. You know what I mean? Like, so they'll never get rid of the people, bro. And like, that's kind of like where my fight comes from. You know what I mean? My inspiration comes from. It's like, I'm not trying to better myself, quote unquote, to be successful in this society. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to do and what I'm doing is to be one with the people. You know, regardless of who becomes successful, regardless of who makes it, there's always people suffering, especially under capitalism, especially under U.S. imperialism. And that's where we live, you know what I mean, every day. So it is my duty to do that, bro. Like, you know, regardless of what privilege I have, there's people that are in my circle, outside my circle, that are suffering severely. You know what I mean? And they need healing, just like we all do. Nobody's perfect. I'm not here to save the day, but I am here to serve the people. You know what I mean? Like, that's every individual's duty, whether it be one person, whether it be your family member, somebody you can reach out to, or some people, or a community that you have connections with. And you like, oh, what? I could get them 80 waters real quick and they could have it. And that could be done monthly through this people that I know that gives away water for this. Making those connections is everything, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we're all very important. Yeah, some of us might have more followers. Other people are verified and got all crazy shit going on. Like, hey, that's them. You know what I mean? But we can't let that distract us from our work. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day. So that's kind of what we need to be kind of doing as a people, I think. You know what I mean? Like, really coming together.
And that's fucking amazing that you're using your platform.
Oh yeah,
to do shit like that, and just to let people know that it you don't have to do like huge things. There's little things like you said, like delivering 80 waters and being able to do that monthly or maybe even weekly or something. Like
just all comes
there's
back to
easy
just
shit that we can all be doing. And like you said, no one's perfect.
Yep.
And when you bring that to light, it's like, damn, yeah, I could be doing more. You could be doing more. You know what I mean? It's like
always.
That's why we talk about these things, and that's why I think conversation and discussion is very powerful and very key in trying to get shit moving in the right direction.
Definitely. Well said.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Speaking a little bit about community stuff, just growing up in our little communities, man. Like I didn't go to a single like get together or house party or anything without hearing Honor Nickatina or the Equipto track being bumped in the background. I'll tell you that, man.
If little Becky or little Stephanie wasn't fucking saying the lyrics to Honor Nickatina and Equipto song back in the days, you might not be in the right spot.
We were
man.
always bumping your shit out here, man. When did you cross paths with Nickatina?
Being from San Francisco is kind of like I would say just San Francisco, being kind of from the same neighborhoods too. Like we would cross paths. I grew up in Lower Hayden, Fillmore, basically area. He's from the Mode, right up to over the hill. And he was already Dre Dog, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back then, he would come through the neighborhood, sell tapes, sell calendars, sell, you know what I mean? We'd be like, oh shit, bro, that's Dre Dog. He got his shit. So while we were on the block just chilling, doing our thing, he would come by and sell shit. And then while Solidarity Records was coming together, like this is 99, my cousin had his number and they were working on something, which I don't even remember, a movie or something. And then they were like, man, you should do a song with Nickatina, man. That's like you and him are like my favorites right now, bro. That'd be dope if y'all did something. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was more of a like hip hop rapper.
Yeah, you are super hip hop.
Yeah, and it was just like, but at the end of the day, it's like, it was a challenge. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, okay, fuck, let's do a song because we're trying to build my album up, right? Like, this is my first solo album. Okay, we're gonna get a feature from him. We'll get a feature, a feature from this dude, and we were planning it out. So, yeah, we ended up just meeting, man, and we planned out to do a song, hit the studio, did the song, Blueprints of War. That was the first song we did, and then it ended up being on a compilation. Like we started the song started getting out there. You know what I mean? I think it started like building up traction throughout the city and stuff. And then we started just hanging out. Like he would invite me to, like in stores and certain shows and certain things, and we started, and then he put me on his album, the Cocaine Raps album.
Yeah.
The Daiquiri Factory when we did Al Capone Suites.
Yep.
And when we did that's
a hitter of all hitters right there, man.
And we started performing. You know what I mean? That's when we started doing shows together. I started performing it. You know what I mean? Like, so we just, it's just kind of built like that, man. It's just, just rap shit, bro. Kind of rap shit, city shit. Just being each other, having the same acquaintances. We had same friends too. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's your boy too. It's like, it was just good, a good connection, especially, for that time. You know what I mean? Like, we knocked out fucking 4 albums together,
yeah,
bro.
It's crazy,
that's
bro.
Pretty incredible. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fucking
people are like,
amazing.
y'all should do another album. I'm like, dude,
amazing.
I don't even appreciate those fucking 4 albums. That's just not easy.
Yeah, y'all cranked out a lot of tracks.
Yeah, dude, a lot of tracks.
With me, you don't got nobody else. You don't know nobody else that got 4 albums with Nickatina like that. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to let it be the way it is sometimes. Like,
Bro,
it was a good time. It's just like that music represents that time. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Like what it was and what was going on.
Some of that album lives rent free in my head forever. Rent free.
Same here.
No paying nothing. That motherfucking album be living in my head. You could just hear it.
You guys were that duo for definitely some time period, man. But I like how your roots were always heavily instilled in the hip hop, genre still.
Always.
Well, bro, like you got to trip too. Like that's why it worked too, because Dre, you can't overlook Dre's hip hop, influence either.
No.
If you listen to his shit, if you really listen to Dre's shit, like Raven in My Eyes, Tears, and you hear
Eli just
Trey
with
no love.
Eli
shit,
from
you know,
Living Legends just put out an album a couple years ago and had Dre on it on one of the tracks on the 808
There you
on
go.
the 808 album.
Yeah.
So he gets down on some hip hop shit too.
Dre's hard, bro. I give him that. He's hard.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what I'm saying. When people say that too, I'd be like, y'all don't really need to listen to the album. Like, you don't have to talk about flowers and like skipping through the fucking fields and shit of grass and shit if you're like to be hip hop. You know what I mean? Like plenty of people that use the boom bap sound talk about, you know, rambunctious ass gangster shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So especially now, you know what I mean? You got Madlib and Freddie Gibbs and shit like that. But when you listen to the Horns and Halos, you listen to all the first one and all it's hip hop beats in that shit, bro. Yeah. It's heavy. Like that's why I be like, people be saying shit like, y'all ain't even really listening and just talking shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all just taking it for what it is. Like,
pictures.
This Nickatina, the gangster rapper with Equipto, board stiff, the hip hop backpacker. I don't think it's gonna work or whatever. That you know what I mean? Like, y'all ain't even listening to the fusion of what we created. You know what I mean? Like, but this is part of history, bro. Like, people will get it later. I mean, a lot of people got it, but I think like a lot of people will get it later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what it took to make that happen.
Were you advanced? Some people, just timings are just different. I don't know why.
Were you producing the beats at that time, or were you guys getting beats from other places?
Both. I mean, we got beats from a lot of other people. You know what I mean? But I mean, like certain things I was producing in the first album, like Midnight Machine Gun. I produced like Peanut Butter Breakdown. I produced Jungle. I produced
hard.
Do What I Gotta Do. So those are like the ones that I produced myself.
When you
know what I'm saying?
When
like,
you think Jungle.
After that,
Jesus.
And I was always like with not myself. I can't really say it because I don't push the buttons. I have my friend Bruce and a few other folks that know how to technically get down. But I would be like, oh, use that sample, flip this, use the drums like this, you know. But I stopped doing that more or less for the Horns and Halos, like the trilogy.
Yeah, man.
I didn't really make beats.
When you hear a beat like something like, you know, like Jungle, for instance, do you know that motherfucker's a hit right off the bat? Did you know already? You're like, man, this shit's gonna go so fucking hard.
It is hard.
You can put it on. I'm not even joking, bro. It could be. You could take a rest from that song for 10 years, 7 years, 8 years. All of a sudden, your boy puts it on. And you're all wasted on a fucking random night. That song hit like it's yesterday.
It hits
different. Like it's yesterday, bro. That is. I'm talking memory lane. For some people, that's, come on, bro. Backcountry, smoking with the boys,
Goddamn,
out on a your question. sorry.
Nah, it's all good, bro. I'm glad that sonically could bring that. You know what I mean? That sound, that sample, because that's an old sample that I just had. I just wanted to loop it. We started making the beat, and I was just with my folks, and then I brought that beat. I was like, man, we should rock this beat. I was like, maybe for my next album, me and Drake could do this song, right? And then we did that song. We did Jungle. We just rocked that. That was the first song that we did, pretty much. One of the first songs we did for that was the first song that we did for my solo album or whatever. And then people were like, y'all should do an album. Y'all should do it. This is before Midnight Machine Guns. Because like I said, I was kind of rolling with the shows. I was kind of around, you know what I mean? They were like, man, some people were saying, you and Equipto should drop an album. So I think we kind of came with the decision. And we had Jungle and Peanut Butter Breakdown. We had those two songs, and we were like, "Oh man, let's just do an album." You know, like that's like exactly what you said. With Jungle, kind of brought that feeling. It gave us that, you know what I'm saying, incentive. It gave us the initiative to be like, man, we got something dope. You know what I mean?
Big
like,
jumper right there.
That shit was hidden. Like Jungle, there's no denial. It's undeniable classic. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. For sure.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's a pure.
It's
classic.
got nostalgia too.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things when you hear it, it's like, oh shit, that just took me back.
You
to
go back to
a
certain year, a certain time in life that you could never go to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's crazy that music could do that.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that you built a time machine like that. That you could do that to people. You know what I mean? That you personally have took part in pushing someone's memory to a certain time in their life.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's definitely humbling. You know what I mean? I just learned the process of music and, like you said, nostalgia and, you know, like history, you know, being part of people's, like that might be played at someone's wedding someday. I'm sure it has.
I'm sure it has. I'm sure when it's time to cut loose, they play that for sure.
Right. So that's always like humbling, and I'm appreciative, like to be totally like a part of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hip hop Bay Area history and shit.
That's legit history.
That's amazing. I actually was listening to an interview with Nickatina, and the interviewer was asking him about like, tell me a story about this song, and he's like, man, I ain't got no story. I just went into the studio, I rocked it, and I got the fuck out of there because I had something else to be doing. You know what I mean?
Right,
is that kind of your feeling, or do you have like memories of getting in the studio and making memories and like kicking it with the homies and like, or was it just business? Like, let's get in, let's get out.
I mean, it's hard to think about what song was doing what, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely certain memories I remember, like funny shit. I mean, the thing is dope, man, because it was a project for me that where I felt like my first time I was like comfortable, like in a studio with food and weed, and we had a whole schedule, you know what I mean? Like none of that shit was done over email. You know what I mean? There was never none of those songs. There was no email shit to really get down like that. That was like, you know, as far as efficient, but yeah, all that shit was done in the studio. So we had to be in the studio together, like pretty much for those projects. I mean, yeah, it wasn't like, you know, all business. I mean, of course, you know, shit, we were just getting down and we were in certain modes, but there was definitely like hilarious moments. You know what I mean? Like I can't really speak on too much of that because it's kind of like random shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just like personal random shit. But there was definitely a great time. You know what I mean? Like. But like he said, like I think like he said, like Creating Jungle, I don't remember with Creating Jungle. I know what studio was at. I know we knocked it out, but there was definitely no significant moment. We were like, remember we did Jungle and that shit was hella funny. Like
that's crazy.
Nah, it was more like the era of Horns and Halos is when we started getting more comfortable. You know what I mean? Kind of like having more, you know, leisure in the lab and shit.
That's cool as fuck.
And that makes sense too.
That's funny to think that you would. That's just like a little brush off the shoulder for Jungle. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Right?
And it's such like a major deal. You know, it's funny, dude. Isn't that how it always works? So in life, like the shit that you don't even take much of, shit just so it always works out the best.
It's like,
hey, bro,
it's true, bro.
It's funny because you always meet people and they got like my boy had a beater car, and I'm like, why don't you take care of this? If I start taking care of it, it's gonna fall apart on me. You don't take care of it, it lasts forever.
Right.
The motherfucker just runs.
That's right. That's right until the wheels fall off.
For real.
Speaking of right until the wheels fall off, have you thinking about getting back out there and doing shows, getting back on the road, and maybe performing and stuff like that since the world's starting to open back up post COVID?
A show on June 26th with Zion I and Mac Mall, right?
And we just seen that same venue.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful place.
We were just there for a Zion I show, so that's a clean venue. It's smaller, intimate, but very nice.
Intimate, very dope. But if you never did a show there before, dude, it's sick, bro. You're gonna like it. It's sick.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting when the gates open up, and we're already kind of booking some shows in like Utah, Colorado, and things like that, probably for July. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm definitely pumped. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm not skeptical. I'm just like, I'm really trying to get, I want to give the people some dope. You know what I mean? Like, I'm concentrated kind of more on my shows, you know what I mean? Because I have an interesting fan base, I guess, in a sense too, like where, when I go on the road, like I said, I'd be going with Zoom, be like Zion I, or go with Mac Mall. Look at that, diameter. Look at that, you know what I mean? Like the difference kind of in crowds and I think I could represent that well, right? I could do that.
You're a good bridge
if
between
I really
both.
put effort into it, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think that, it's always a challenge for me, right? I could get new fans, right? Like a lot of people, I'll tell you, the thing with quote unquote Equipto is they'll know my name more than they know my music, so and there's nothing wrong with that. That happens with a lot of people. I know a lot of more people's names than their music as well. Yeah. And that just happens through the kind of the levels of fans that there are, right? Like fans that, hey, he's cool. And other fans that'll buy your CD, other fans that'll go to your shows. You know what I mean? Like, so and that's the goal that we're kind of trying to get, connect with our fans. And me, more or less, is like always an opportunity to perform is just an opportunity to inform, to educate and share and have something to offer. You know what I mean? Like that's what performances and kind of concerts are to me, in a sense, is real personal. Because when you go on a tour for like 25, 30 days, bro, like, and you're performing every day, if not, every other day, if not every day, the same thing in a sense, it could get tiresome. And not just that, like, I'm the type of person, like, I'm becoming like, it's not like total joy for me to perform. Let's keep it real. Like, I love it. It's part of my life, you know what I mean? But what I mean by that is it takes a lot out of you, a lot of energy. Like, your music, when your music is personal and you channel spirits and you acknowledge people that are not here.
A lot of energy coming out, man, and being expelled.
Right.
You know?
You're pouring yourself on the
you're pouring your soul out
right
on the
there.
stage there.
And like within moments at a time, you know, and you can expect that's got to drain something that we not sure what of, but it does drain something from.
Yeah, it's just like almost, you know, like, and if, you know, I'm an emotional kind of dude too. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve here and there. Like if my emotions are provoked in that type of way, then I'm gonna let it go. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes or sometimes you'll hold it back in a sense because you know it's not appropriate in the sense like, man, I can't be crying in front of these motherfuckers. But we doing songs like our shit is about our families.
Yeah.
Our songs are about our loved ones that are houseless. You know, our songs are about families that are suffering and going through, you know, loss, you know, experiencing real loss, you know, like, so it's like, don't you channel that type of shit. You could overlook it because it's memorized in your brain, you know, do all this shit. But at the end of the day, you know, that it takes a toll. And you're not just there, you know, screaming out party music, because even that could, you know, it takes its toll too, right? It's exhausting, you know, exhausting. But you know, I'm 47 years old now, so for me, I'm not super old. I'm not super young. You know, I mean, I'm not young at all actually, but I'm not super old. But so I still have to, you know, adjust, and I have to be ready. You know, when I'm on the road for 30 days, you know, that's, you know, I have to take care of myself. I can't, you know, I got to understand my limits, and you know, and try to push my limits as well, challenge myself, but. There's nothing like the road, you know, like I'm excited about it in the sense of like what I can offer and what's going on in this political climate. You know what I mean? Like, so when I travel to Montana or I travel to Tennessee or I travel to Cincinnati, you know what I mean? Like I could be informed with what the community's doing out there. I'm like, oh shit, damn, that they're getting down out here in Ohio, and I can take that back home. You know what I mean? Or I can go there and see what's going on with me. And be like, man, this is what we're doing in Frisco. We're organized
to them.
here.
So energy for their energy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And bridge those gaps. I think so. I'm trying to use the hip hop and the travel more as a tool for organizing as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of course.
And informing.
Of course.
Yeah, man, I caught your spoken word in the streets of San Francisco, and your voice is definitely serving a purpose right now, man. So I would keep it going with that, you know? You're definitely reaching a lot of people's ears.
Thank you, brother. I mean, yeah, that's all I could wish for. I'm glad it's something like that gets attention instead of me, like, tripping over and picking my nose, you know what I mean? Something viral that goes like, you know what I mean? Like, actually things that are getting attention that I'm doing, like, oh, it's something for oppressed people, you know what I mean? That actually need they need the lens right now. So, yeah, I feel totally, like, happy that it's not some bullshit.
It's crazy. Everybody rather see negative shit.
It's actually a message, and you know what I mean? And it's, you know, it's doing its work.
Most definitely.
It's crazy though how the world is.
A
like
lot of people would
rather see somebody have a bad day than somebody have a good day. Like, it's just fucked up. Like, I mean, as simple as that. As simple as that. Like, because all you see on the internet is, ooh, look who got knocked out, or look how guys won this much money.
Said, something stupid.
It's just
like
something stupid.
Picking your nose and tripping over a fucking
simple
crack
shit
in the street or something.
Nobody wants to see the guy doing good though. It's fucking stupid, dude. I feel it. I totally feel exactly what the fuck you're saying.
For real, bro. It is. It's like people want that bad news. People want that shock value.
That's all they want.
That's what it is, man. It's tough, man. It's tough. I mean, I know we find humor and things like that. We all laugh at crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what it is. Yeah. But I think it's about us finding a balance. You know, it's really about finding the balance where we could still enjoy life, still have fun. You know what I mean? Like, because I always tell folks too, to get involved in politics or get involved in city politics and activism, it's strenuous work, but it doesn't not necessarily not have to be fun. You know, you can make it fun. You know, you have to find ways to make things attractive and make things, you know, irresistible for people to get involved in. So there has to be fun. You know what I mean? And we have to find fun in things, right? Like, we don't look at organizing as fun. We don't look like, you know, mowing the grass is fun. We don't look like planting 100 strawberries is fun, but this is all community work, and we can learn while we do it. We're laughing at each other, we're busting jokes, you know what I mean? You know, these are the type of things that get us to know each other and know our community better.
Camaraderie.
And, you know, there's love in labor, you know what I mean? Like, there is love in labor. So I think we have to find that and not just be so, like, lazy, you know, and expect everything at our doorstep, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what a lot of what America, you know, and the American dream is about, you know what I mean?
I agree.
I fucking 100% agree with you on that. And with that, we want to say we appreciate everything that you're doing out here in the streets, and appreciate you coming on and sharing your words and some stories and history behind the Equipto story. And and we look forward to hearing more from you.
Fucking A,
we really
do.
We can't wait to hear more and see what you have in store. And once again, thank you very much for coming on Milk Crates and Microphones.
Right on, man.
Hey,
appreciate y'all, man.
Before you go, give us a shout out to Milk Crates and Microphones.
Yeah, shout out to Milk Crates and Microphones. I mean, that's the foundation of hip hop. You got to find the records in the milk crates, and you got to spit the gift on the microphone. So much love. Keep it, cultural, identity, and keep your foot on the ground, and just stay balanced. You know what I mean? That's what it's all, finding balance in this craziness.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Well, we appreciate you once again. Thank you. And hopefully we could talk to you again, and we look forward to seeing you. Maybe we'll see you out on the streets in the show or something, and keep doing what you're doing, man. Stay up. Keep doing it, because we love it. We love it out here.
Fuck yeah, we do, bro. Be safe.
Yep, keep it real.
I hella appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for giving me the time, for real, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It means a lot.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Like,
yeah,
thank
you,
level,
bro.
Be at this level in the game, and still have, love and folks that are interested in recognizing what we doing out here.
There's a lot of
recognition. It's all love, man. We appreciate you so much. Thank you again.
All right, brother.
All right, dog.
Peace.
Peace,
Peace, brother.